In our gospel reading, Jesus sends many demons out of a man who calls himself Legion and who is then restored to his right mind. The man lived a wild life among the tombs. When Jesus commands the demonic to come out of Legion, they recognize him as the Son of the Most High God. The demons will end up in a herd of pigs and then be destroyed by drowning. But the man will be enabled to return home and to tell of Jesus. A reading from the Gospel of Luke. Jesus and his disciples arrived at the country of the Gerasenes, which is opposite Galilee. As he stepped out on land, a man of the city who had demons met him. For a long time, he had worn no clothes, and he did not live in a house but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he fell down before him and shouted at the top of his voice, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For Jesus had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For many times it had seized him. He was kept under guard and bound with chains and shackles, but he would break the bonds and be driven by the demon into the wilds. Jesus then asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "Legion," for many demons had entered him. Not to order them to go back into the abyss. Now there on the hillside a large herd of swine was feeding, and the demons begged Jesus to let them enter these. So he gave them permission. Then the demons came out of the man and entered the swine, and rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When the swineherds saw what had happened, they told it in the city and in the country. Then people came out to see what had happened, and when they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. Those who had seen it told them how the one who had been possessed by demons had been healed. Then all the people of the surrounding country of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them, for they were seized with great fear. So he got into the boat and returned. The man from whom the demons had gone begged that he might be with him, but Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you." So he went away, proclaiming throughout the city how much Jesus had done for him. This is the word of the Lord. "Who is that man?" asked the townspeople of Gerasenes. "We don't know him, and we will not associate with him. Why, he must have 15 personalities. He's crazy. He wears no clothes. We've seen him in town, bound in chains and shackles. Yet he's broken loose and escaped to the isolated burial grounds called the tombs, his home. What a sorrowful existence to be alone and broken. Not only does the man have demons to deal with, he's also cut off from his family, friends, and community relationships." In Luke, we just heard the story of the calming of the raging sea. Now Jesus and his disciples were sailing to Gerasenes, a Gentile land across from the Galilee. It's important to note that this is the only time that Jesus actually goes to Gentile territory to heal. Once ashore, he met the demon-possessed man who fell at his feet and shouted, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't torture me." For Jesus had commanded the evil spirit to come out of the man, for he wanted him to be healthy and whole. Jesus asked, "What is your name?" And he replied, "Legion," which means of his possession. The demons recognized who Jesus was because they too were connected with the spiritual world. They knew God was present among them, and they begged him, "Don't send us into the abyss." For they didn't want to go into a place of confinement with Satan and evil spirits. Instead, the demons begged Jesus to send them to the pigs that were feeding nearby. Now, you all know that pigs were considered unclean for Jews, and they were forbidden to eat them. However, remember, this was predominantly Gentile territory, so Jesus allowed it. Then the demon-possessed pigs rushed down the cliffs and they drowned in the lake. The swineherds and the townspeople learned what had happened. They saw Jesus with the man, dressed, sitting at Jesus' feet. His mind healed, his body whole. The townspeople were filled with fear, and they asked Jesus to leave. They really were afraid of his power. They were afraid that he'd upset the apple cart, that he'd upset the way things are. Jesus did what he thought was most important, and he left by Galilee. The man begged, "Please, let me go with you." He wanted to know better this Most High God who recognized him even when his own people could not. He yearned to be with Jesus forever. But Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." The man left, and he told everyone about this miracle, how he was broken and is now healed. How courageous to go back to his townspeople. How do we react when we encounter a stranger on the street? He may have torn and dirty clothing, a bodily odor from lack of showers. He may be talking aloud to himself. Many of us tend to avoid any physical contact or conversation with such individuals. The external appearance could be scary and make us fearful. Yet Jesus didn't hesitate. He went directly to serve one man who needed spiritual healing. Jesus truly is the great physician. The man is made to live outside the boundaries of human society because of his mental illness. Our mental health facilities today, we still have people battling schizophrenia, autism, depression, anxiety, alcoholism, drugs, and other compulsive behaviors. Some are homeless and living in cardboard boxes on the street. Even those who are treated with drugs and therapies are often feared or scorned by society. We have a long way to go in treating the mentally ill in our society. There's no easy answers, yet we keep on trying, really hard. Right here in Dutchess County, we have churches that provide warmth, beds, and safety for those on cold winter nights. At Trinity, our food pantry and our church actively reach out to others. Every random act of kindness we each do can ease the burden of others. Did you notice how the townspeople reacted to Jesus after the healing? They were scared of his power. They didn't offer kind hospitality to Jesus. Instead, they were fearful, and they told him, "Go now." And he did. Because Jesus wasn't concerned about how he was treated. His focus was on the man and his new role in society. So the man went back into society. I wonder how he was treated. As a demoniac, he'd been scorned by his community. Do you think that people will flock to him now that he's been with a miracle healer? Perhaps. Or maybe he never did overcome his prior reputation and the people continued to shun him. Because remember, Gerasenes is a very small town and people do like to talk. Or perhaps in time he'll go through the process of re-entry into society. Maybe God will send someone into his life that will help him to become part of the community. We don't know the ending of this story, but we do know that this man received a valuable gift from God that changed his life. And he enthusiastically went out and told others about him. Many of us have our own stories of transformation and renewal that brought us to this new day. We can tell the power of a God who will never let us go, who seeks us even when we can't recognize that we are lost. What an awesome gift we have received to have Jesus in our lives. He is our teacher and model of how we should live and treat others. He opens our eyes and hearts to the needs of others. We are each richer indeed because of the power of His love. What a perfect gift. In closing, we have a prayer. Thank you, Lord, for this miracle of redemption and health and sanity. The same voice that calmed the storm at sea now calmed the storm in this poor man's soul. He was under your authority now. He had been set free in his spirit and transformed by the renewing of his mind. Thank you for the redemption you bring to each of our lives. Like this man, may we be found sitting at your feet, healed and clothed in your righteousness, longing to tell everyone we meet how good you have been to us.